Hi, welcome back to the Jac and Glen channel. I'm Jackie.
And I'm her husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button and that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews.
And make sure you check the link in the description for a free 30-day trial with Audible and the Rakuten link for a $10 credit.
Let's get ready for Ready to Love.
Ready to love.
Ready to Love. We already had an elimination last week. 2 men went home. This time is the women opportunity. We see Tommy. Tommy invited the women to brunch. Well, everybody was at brunch.
Yes.
Everybody was at brunch, but Tommy had a big announcement when he came in at brunch. He said, "It's been 10 men. We have 10 men, and we have 8. Or excuse me, we have 8 men and 10 women. So that means 2 women has got to go home." And he said, "I've been throwing curveballs. I'm throwing another curveball. By the end of this brunch, somebody has got to go."
Yeah.
Somebody ain't gonna make it at the end of brunch. Somebody can get a meal and go home.
Mm-hmm.
Get a meal and go home.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get this thing started. A lot to talk about today on Ready to Love because it's interesting.
Well, yeah, I think the beginning is a telltale sign of what's going to happen with one person in particular. Yeah. And that's that daggone Troy. Troy said Chrysanthemum came in with the little jogging suit on. She looking right. He's like, I can sop her up like a biscuit.
Troy
can sop everybody up for
Troy ain't there for love. Troy is there for booty call. Troy is a player from the Himalayas. Troy is talking to everybody.
Everybody.
And Troy don't miss nothing though. One thing I like about Troy, Troy don't miss. If it's looking good, if it's shaking, if it's jiggling, Troy's going to figure it out.
You said you like that about him? Really?
I ain't say I like that about him. I'm just saying Troy is very observant.
Troy is a big old flirt.
Very observant.
He's a very player.
He's observant.
Player from the Himalayas.
He's observant.
Okay. We see Ida talking about she's looking forward to talking to Ron. No, wasn't nobody talking about Ron before, so I thought it was interesting that she said that.
Ain't nobody talk about Ron in the last 2 episodes.
Well, nobody talking about her neither.
We haven't seen much of Ron.
Nah.
Not much of Ron at all. And, maybe in the later episodes we'll see more of Ron, but Ron was on a chopping block last week. Ron almost went home. So Ron might be playing low key, but we don't see him make any relationships or nobody's talking to Ron.
All right, so in this brunch, everybody got to mix it up.
Gotta mix it up.
They got to mix it up and start filling everybody else out, and a woman's got to really step up. And so we see Tressa. We get to see a little bit more Tressa.
Yeah.
Having a chit chat with the people. She says she's telling them she's been doing stand up for 6 years, and she's not the type of comedian that's jokey all the time.
Right.
And so she said a lot of times she doesn't even mention that she's a comedian, because then sometimes people trying to get you to be jokey or they're expecting you to be jokey. And then she also says she don't want to fall into the homegirl, the homie space.
Yeah, and that's the problem. She don't want to fall into the homie space, because when you fall into the homie space with the boys, you got to go home. We saw that in the last season of Ready to Love. Can't remember who. Alicia.
Danny.
Danny was there. Danny was the first one to go home. She fell into the homegirl, homeboy type vibe, and they sent her home. And Tressa's like, she's like, I'm trying to find love. I want to find love. I want to find somebody who likes me for my personality and not for my comedian skills or ability. So, I can get with it. I can definitely get with it, because again, she wants to be here. People are here for love. I think right now you see these people they grown folk.
But you starting to see early when you starting to get impressions earlier. Who's actually there for love and who's not.
Yeah.
Which leads me to the next person. Again, here comes Troy. So we see Troy and Alexis chit-chatting. And, he's doing his schmoozing. The Troy thing. We only 2-3 episodes in. He already schmoozing and stuff.
Yeah.
And so Alexis is like, I question how real he is. Am I really, up at the top? I feel like you got a lot of people at the top.
I feel like she's starting to read through the BS, and then they go clip and they show Troy talking to Chris. They show Troy talking to Amber. They saw Troy talking to Andrea. So Troy is making his rounds around the room.
Yeah, boy.
And I'm not telling
to mix it up, right?
You're supposed to mix it up, but Troy's telling everybody the same thing.
Yeah.
And so again, I just think eventually Troy's gonna get caught up, because he's telling everybody the same thing. And people can start reading through that. When you got somebody who's been around the block like Alexis, she's smart, she's intelligent, she's been married to She's been married. So she understands when she being BS.
Yeah.
I didn't say I left who she was married to. I left that there for later.
Right.
I didn't go there right there. But
we see Ida mingling, and David and Stacy are talking, and Ida just squeezed herself in on the seat. You know, she interrupts the conversation.
She didn't just squeeze in. She said, "You don't even got to scoot over. Let me just sit right here. You ain't even got to scoot. You ain't even got to move."
That's what it said. She squeezed in there.
She said, "You ain't got to move, David. I said right here."
She doggone near was sitting on his lap, but you know she squeezed in there, and then she's like, "Oh, you know, you in between two of us," and she makes a joke about how would you like to be marrying both of us? Ha ha! No.
Nah, we ain't no sister. Ain't no sister wives.
No.
And David said, "This ain't Utah." And we ain't Mormon either, so it is what it is.
We get a glimpse of Amber and Chris.
Mm-hmm.
KG Smooth talking, and she was like, you know, how's it going for you? Anybody popping out at you, whatever. And his problem is people trying to differentiate between Chris and do they want me for Chris, the regular me, or the KG Smooth. And then I think also probably the previously ready to love Chris. Like, are we just interested because I seen you on the show before?
And he mentioned that. He brought that up a little bit about Naya and the financial situation, and the Amber were like, you know what? I believe 50-50. I believe we split it down the middle, and you know, we've done a couple financial shows. You can check those YouTube videos out. But again, I'm talking about splitting it down the middle. But at least I see now, Chris has already got the mindset, I'm going to talk to a whole bunch of different people. I'm not going to get caught up in just one person, because last time I got caught up in one person and other people were interested in me.
It didn't work out.
It didn't work out.
But so, all in all, Chris is feeling Amber's vibe.
Mm-hmm.
We see AJ and Andrea chit-chatting. And she says, you know, he had her on the fence before.
Yeah.
As far as, you know, what was up with him. But her feelings kind of changed after she had to chat with him. But AJ
drop, right?
said, yeah, everybody's calling him the chocolate drop. But AJ was like, I'm not feeling the spark. I don't really see any chemistry. Nah. And you could tell. She
had dry conversation.
Yeah.
And she said that too, though. She said the conversation really wasn't popping like that.
Right.
And I think that's when Stacy came.
Yeah, she straight stole him away.
And saved him. But when now her and AJ starting to have a good conversation. They started
she estimated his height. You look like you about 6'5". He was like, She was like, yeah, I'm just eyeballing it. I can eyeball a lot of things.
She said, like, what size shoe I would?
A 13. He was like, dog, you good.
Mm-hmm. He said, how about the length of up? And
she said, I'm good with all kinds of measurements.
All kinds of measurements. And he said, nah, I'm not even going to go there.
Low ball flirting.
No, not even go there. And then she comes again.
Ida.
Mr. Hang Around Girl.
Interrupt.
Excuse me?
And she squeezes in again.
She's following the same people Stacy following.
Yeah, Stacy's like, oh, yeah.
Like all the Stacy, like all the people in the room.
You gotta come over here with the person I'm talking to now.
Again.
So we see Alexis and Jason talking again, because we know Jason was her son's basketball coach. And he asked the question, you know, how would your son feel with a man coming into the house, into the picture? And, you know, she was like, he be on something. If my mama's happy, I'm good with it. You know, I want my mom to be happy, and mommy needs love too. And
I think that's a good question Jason asked, because some kids will feel some type of way. We saw last year, I think it was David and Alicia had that question that was asked, kind of, you know, how your kids will interact, and it didn't go so well for David. But now that's a question to ask. How would your son, because her son is at an age that he knows this guy. Mm-hmm. They've had interactions. They met with each other. They hung out with each other. They played ball. He probably yelled at him or coached him. Now, this is my mama's boyfriend. So it gotta be how do you relate that? How he's gonna handle that? And not to mention how the other kids, your mama dating the coach. So It becomes a different play on that. So it was a good question for Jason to ask and to get Alexis' answer doing this.
All right, and then we see David, which we know David is a wedding officiant.
Yeah.
We see him having a conversation with Tressa and Vernacia.
Yeah.
Vernacia, I think I said it right. And he says, you know, how would you feel about a guy that wanted to kind of take it easy when it came to the sex thing and like abstain from sex? And they were like, well, how long? He was like, I mean, you know, like until marriage. And Tressa was like, yeah, no.
Nah, because Tressa said, she said, I done had some stuff that been trash. She flat out said, I done had some stuff that been trash. And track.
Right, but she did say, I have done that before.
I've done that before.
You know, I have abstained. Mm-hmm. But she was like, I don't want to do that.
She said, I'm in my 40s. She said, I'm in my 40s.
Right.
Grown folks. Now,
I want to know what's going on down there.
Each his own. I'm not judging anybody. This ain't a religious show right now. But, you know, some people want to maintain themselves. Some people want to keep themselves. I think you respect that from both sides, though. Mm-hmm. Because I think when you hear a man say that, people look at it differently.
Yeah.
Really, when you hear a man say, I want to abstain from sex, and you're like, oh, what's wrong with him? But a young lady can say that, and it'll be okay. So I think, you know, we looked at how people gave Iris some problems, you know. But, again, it was a good conversation. I'm glad that he brought it out early. Mm-hmm. Venetia really didn't say too much. He was okay with it, kind of. It was like, how, like about 6 months? You know, she was like, it can't be forever, you know. It can't be forever, ever. But it's going to be, how long are we talking about?
Yeah.
You know, Tressa was the one that looked. And, again, each his own. She wants to make sure that he's good in the sheets before it takes it to that next level. Now, again, this show is Ready to Love, not Married at First Sight. So again, are you really, you're trying to love and get to mingle, interact with a person before you can get to that marriage.
Right.
So again, Tressa want to try everything. She want to try everything, but Angel was cool with it, and David wants to wait. Yeah,
he said his focus is he wants somebody with strong standards. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't want like a fly by night thing, you know. And he didn't say it there, but one of the other guys say it later. Also, you know, sometimes sex gets in the way. You know, you move too fast with that clouds everything. But so David said he wants someone with strong standards. And he said basically, anyway, besides that with Tressa, he kind of walked away with a homegirl vibe with her.
But again, it's grown man stuff though. Again, having that tough conversation early. Finding out what works for you early. Finding out which one of these women that you can meet and mingle with that have the have a like mind like you early. So I like with this group of people and the guys especially right now, the questions that they're asking and the conversation that they're having.
Mm-hmm. And so then we see later Dietrich talking to Ida. She walks in, getting herself some food. She makes a little joke with him. You know, I didn't finish eating before. She said, but I know you did.
I know you did.
And so he makes the comment.
Marvin.
Yeah. She called him Marvin because he gave her Marvin Gaye vibes. But he kind of feels like she's nervous, and so every time they're reacting, it's a lot of jokey jokes. Like he's the chef, and she was like, "Oh, what you say? Yeah, you want to make me some oxtails? I know I'm reading your mind." You know,
she was doing too much. I mean, she was never letting him steer the conversation.
Yeah.
Or matter of fact, conversing both ways. Mm-hmm. Because again, the nervousness allowed her just to talk, and she never listened.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. She never listened. And then when she did, she cut across him and didn't let him. It was just too much. And he was still being nice to her and feeling her a little bit, but she just couldn't get it. She just didn't know how to.
And long story short, it didn't work out for Ida. She slid in too many times on people, and the nervousness and the jokey jokes she got.
She went home, and then she like, oh y'all telling me all good, and y'all was feeling on my butt, and she mad. She big mad. She mad because she went home first. She mad because she didn't go, not first, but she first
she was
lady.
Like, y'all hugging me like, oh, we sad to see you go, or you cool and everything. And she was like, but y'all eliminated me.
Eliminated.
Y'all eliminated.
Hey, come on, somebody had to go.
Somebody. Well, she said it didn't have to be her.
Somebody had to go, and she was at the bottom.
Yeah,
you can't help it when you at the bottom. She at the bottom of the list. She didn't make any connections.
We felt like it was gonna be her anyway.
Yeah, I felt like it was gonna be her. I said it was gonna be her. Let's be honest. I said it was gonna be her when she walked on the campus.
Yeah, and she tripped on her dress.
I'm like, yo, she's the first one to go home. I'm like, yo, she's the first one to go home. It was just something about her. I was like, you know what?
Well, and the fact that she doesn't go by her real name, she goes by Vicky.
That's what it was. when she went by Vicky from Small Wonder, when she told the Vicky from Small Wonder story, I was like, yo, she going home. There's something ain't right there. I can't say that.
Anyway,
don't even say that.
After the elimination, Dietrich makes a comment. He was like, man, this is stressful. One of the other guys was like, I was about to say that. This is like, whew, that's rough.
Because, again, you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Right. But I mean,
you know somebody has to go home.
It's going to happen. It's unavoidable. Somebody's feelings going to get hurt. question is are you gonna be like Ida and all about it, or like Naya? I got a boyfriend waiting on me anyway. Even though she said she was joking.
Yeah, I don't care what anybody says. She has the best dismissal from a show ever.
That was terrible. Anyway,
best dismissal from
Tommy
a show.
tells everybody we about to go old school. So what I want you to do is start asking people out for dates during this week. You know, go on some dates, get to know some folks, and you know, fill it out or whatever. And we see the guys doing it.
I like this because you know what? Unlike last season when it was all at a resort, I understand we had COVID-19 and they was in protocol, but now the dates can be in different places. You can see them hang out. You can see more of the group dates. You can see some things. And fellas, you can pick up some ideas like the candle making thing. That's a good one right there. But you know, you just pick up some different things so you see them maneuvering. I like this way a little bit better than I did the resort right now.
Mm-hmm. So first we see AJ and Alexis going out, and he jokes with her. How cute she is. She got the superhero leather pants on, some thigh-high boots.
I mean them junks tight.
She said they call me Alexis Fly, so she gonna bring the fashion game.
She gonna bring the game.
And they gonna make candles. And she was like, everybody knows I love a tall chocolate brother. You know, I'm feeling this tall chocolate brother. And they both acknowledge, you know, there's some sensual chemistry there.
Yeah.
And you know, she's quite flirty. Caresses his cheek or whatever, and he was like, now how would it be if I caress your cheek? Now what would happen after that?
She was like, she was rubbing on that bed. She rubbing on the bed.
Yeah, she was like, well, you know, touch is my love language, so anything can happen. She's very flirty. He was like, she out-flirted him.
She's very aggressive, he said. The word he used was aggressive.
And he said she out-flirted me.
Yeah, she out-flirted me.
And he was like, I don't know about that. He don't, because again, they're older, is ready to love, and we don't want to get focused on the sex. So he was like, you know, I'm concerned about them moving too fast, all the innuendos. She made sexual innuendos. He was like, I don't know about that.
And he was like, and then Then she said,
he said, you've been married before, right? She said, yeah, I was married.
My husband was pastor. First lady. First lady.
He was like, how you was married to the pastor? You all sexy.
First lady need love too.
She said it.
She said, first lady, I like sex.
She said sex is very important to me.
Again, translation, I like sex.
No, sex is very important to me.
It was a big deal in my life.
And so her thing was also, we're adults, we're grown. Why shy away from the conversation? You know, if we're going to talk about it, let's talk
about it. Again, first lady. Go ahead, first lady. Work it out. First lady caressing the bed again.
AJ said he's attractive, but he's looking for a genuine connection, and he just don't want the little sexual stuff to get in the way. So
yeah, he wants it to be real, and I think that's the key there. He wants it to be real. Some of these guys are up in their 40s and even 50s, and they want
flirty Troy,
and they want to make sure that it's legit. They've done the sex thing and all that. They want to make sure this connection is a genuine connection, and I'm not mad at him for being a grown man.
Yeah, no. All right, next we see Jason and Kyra going out. Mm-hmm. And remember from the beginning, he was feeling her in that green dress. So we already know when she show up, he going to be like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And he was like, man, you look beautiful. You know, he like really feeling her. And
she was like, oh, I put this on for you. So she was feeling them too, so. Yeah.
So they're just, getting to know each other. What kind of things do you like? She likes dancing and travel. She's competitive. And he was like, well, shoot, you know I played basketball. Your boy's an athlete.
Yeah, I was swimming. I
but
dived.
He was on the dive team.
I was the only brother on the dive team.
Yeah, he went to diving school. Interesting.
And you which was good. He opened up to her.
Uh-huh.
And I think that he made him feel comfortable. And she was like, she's competitive. And as they started having conversations, a major topic come out about depression. And and that topic came up, and she was like, I've had tragedy in my life or my family with depression. I hope this is not a big red flag. But he eased her mind a little bit because, again, a brother who's not afraid or ashamed to say he went to counseling.
Let me go back a little bit because how the conversation started. She said, in your life, have there been any regrets?
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets? Things you should have done or wanted to do? And he was like, well, I've done most things. I've tried most things. He said most things I've started or done. And we got to the conversation where he says, you know, some things I started, I didn't finish. I didn't follow through. Well, why was that? Well, depression might have gotten in the way. And that's when they had that conversation. But he did. He said he went to a counselor. He said something about them counselors. He said, man, they dig into you. They had you crying. You know, all that.
That's what he did. He was like, yeah, you cool.
Jesus.
That's what he said. That's what he said. I heard it.
But he said it worked for him. You know, it really helped him get through some things. He was grateful for it. So she was happy to hear that because, like you said, she said she's had tragedy in her family related to depression. So,
I mean, depression is real, though. I mean, it's real, and I think when people are depressed, they need to handle it. And sometimes you got to handle it with professionals. They can help you out, you know. So it's a real thing, especially during the last year that people have been through, being cooped up in their homes and seeing people die and hear it on the news. And depression is real. So whatever that situation is, if you're depressed, go get some help. Get some help.
Yeah, absolutely. So then next we see a group date. We see Joel has asked Troy and David, and then there's Liz, Vernacia, Andrea, and Amber.
No,
all going out. Oh, and David's there. Did I say David?
Yeah, you said that. You gotta make it. Andrea and Amber are with Troy. They're there because they like Troy, and both of them trying to build a relationship with Troy.
Well, yeah, because Troy's sitting there. He's sitting there already with Andrea.
Yes.
And Amber comes in and she said, I'm going to slide on the other side of you. And he was like, oh, it's like a sandwich. Right. I don't mind being in the sandwich between the two of y'all. Flirty.
I like sandwiches.
He's so flirty.
He's so flirtatious.
I don't like it.
It's kind of almost creepy.
I don't like it.
I'm going to tell you why it's creepy.
It's so player.
No, I'm going to tell you why it's creepy because we're going to get there in a minute. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go there while we're with Troy. Because Troy's kissing him on the cheeks, but not only is he kissing on the cheek, he touching bras. He's playing with legs. And it's like, Tommy kind of talk about it when they get the men's letter. Like, you only been here like a couple days.
Don't you think that's a bit much?
You're a bit much. You're to kiss about 5-6 people, and now you're doing a little too much touchy-feely. And I mean, Andrea was kind of feeling it a little bit. I don't know if that was like, Yeah, I don't know if Andrea's type of feeling it was like, I'm going to just do it ha-ha, he-he. Or was it like, get off me, type, laughing, giggling. I couldn't feel which way she was going with that, but I know she said they play a lot. So Troy plays a little too much, but he's also touchy-feely. There was scenes where you saw...
And he's like the oldest person there.
Yeah, you saw Troy touching on legs. You saw Troy... So he's touchy-feely. So I guess his love language is touch, too. Apparently. But Troy's a little creepy for me.
Yeah, we see David flirting with Vernacia. You know, getting a little talk on. Liz and Joel talking. You know, she's like, he's very real. Honest, good guy, handsome. You know, she's like kind of feeling him. Yeah, and Vernacia looked a little like, you know, but she was talking to somebody. But she said she liked the fact that Joel's upfront and told her, you know, I am feeling Liz a little bit. Yeah. But then he also came and checked on her to see how she was doing, and she was like, you know, I liked that. Yeah,
he was good. I mean, which again, there's a way to mingle in this game, in this competition game, whatever you want to call it on this show, without being rude. You know, you can't do my man, what was his name, Brian last year, who creeped down the hall and was lying about what he was dealing with. But you up in front. Joel seemed like he's the dude that was honest and up in front. We'll get to a little bit more about Joel being honest up in front later. But he was like, yo, Liz, I like Vernacia. And she was cool with it, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily got to be, ha, ha, ha. But again, realizing that there is competition.
Well, yeah. And you're trying to whittle it down to who you feeling. Back to Troy and his flirting. He and Amber and Andrea talking about, okay, have you had any overseas destinations? And he said, yeah, I have, but I want to go to Brazil and Spain and Italy, a lot of romantic places. And he was like, I wouldn't mind going there for a first date, maybe conceive a child. And Amber was looking like,
nope, done deal.
Good Lord, no.
Amber was like, I'm not feeling him right now.
She was like, no.
No, too much. I'm not feeling him.
No. And then, like I said, we see David and Vernacia some more. He talks to her about her vision board. What's on your vision board? She's like, I got a ring on my vision board. No lie.
Like, what?
This is what I'm trying to do.
Baby.
This is what I'm trying to do. So, you know what time it is. I'm ready to love. I'm trying to get married. Duh. And then I think on the last episode, she was like, I got kids, but hey, I could do another one.
Yeah, I'm not even mad at her. You know, I think you get to a point in time where you want to be married. You're tired of fooling around. You're tired of playing the games, and you want to be married. You want to be committed to somebody. You want somebody to be committed to you. You want to come home. You want people to love you the right way. And I'm not mad at her for having a vision board and having a ring on it.
Next, we see another group date. Dietrich goes out with Alexis. We see Chris and Kyra. We see AJ and Stacy, and then we see Tressa and Jason. And they go to a cooking class. They're making mac and cheese and okra.
Yeah, mac and cheese, okra.
Yeah, and
I can deal with mac and cheese, okra so much. Yeah.
Dietrich says Alexis is a baddie. He says she's a baddie. A couple guys are feeling her, but they're cooking together. And remember, Dietrich is a chef, so she's like, we kind of competitive with it. She said, "I'm gonna win because I'm with the chef."
Yeah, and
we get ready to do this.
She is very competitive.
Yeah, she kept rubbing it in their face, though. It's not my fault. I got somebody over here that's gonna do it right.
And AJ was looking at her like, it's good, but then again,
he was still like too much aggression.
Too much sexual aggression.
Yeah, too much aggression. She's coming off strong. Real strong. And so, like I said, they fix their macaroni and cheese and that okra. And so we see Tressa offering Dietrich some okra. It's like, here, Paw. She called him Paw.
I don't know where the name came from.
I don't know if it's the beard. I don't know what it is. But she was like, here you go, Paw. Taste this. And he was like, He said, I like the food. I like to deliver it too.
I like to deliver it too.
And interesting, she said, she talked to Dietrich before. Yeah. And was like, what's your type? And he was like, well, girls like you used to be my type. He said, but I kind of had to get away from that. So I have a different type now. But they little conversation, I was like, ooh, I see the little sparks. I'm liking it.
He said, at the end of that, he's like, y'all like to take you out. And she like, me? Really?
Yeah.
She was surprised.
Yeah.
Now, mind you.
Because they're talking about spices. Because she's talking about using spices. And how she uses smoked paprika a lot. Mm-hmm. And he was like, have you been to some of the spice stores around here? We should do a date at the spice store. She was like, you want to take me on a date? What?
And that's because she was surprised because of the conversation that they had beforehand. And Dave was like, Dietrich was like, hold on. I like a little woman. A woman with a little meat on the bone.
Now, he didn't say that, but
eventually later on he insinuate that he likes a big girl. Yeah. He like ain't nothing wrong with liking a big girl. He like a big girl.
Yeah, but he said, even though he said usually you would be my type, but I'm trying to have a different type now. He did acknowledge, when them sitting there talking or whatever. He was like, a little vibe, little connection going on.
Because she has a big personality. And her personality is, again, she's fun.
I wouldn't say she has a big personality.
I would say her personality, she's first of all,
personable.
She's personable.
Like that.
She's intelligent. Mm-hmm. And she has confidence.
Yeah.
Again, a man likes a woman with confidence.
And she seems nice and sweet.
And when I say confidence is different from arrogance.
Right.
She has confidence. She's sure about. She understands who she is.
Yeah.
She know who she is, and she's gonna be who she is. She's going to be funny. She's going to be loving. She's going to show that personality. And that's what I think he's beginning to like. Because he mentioned later on about personality. Yeah,
he said, she was saying that he said she got the best personality of all the women. And she said that could be a pro or a con. Mm-hmm. Because you never hear a guy say, I love her personality. You be like, so she's like, it could be in a bad sense that all you do is get caught up in my personality, and again I fall in the homegirl vibe, and you be so cool with me that there's no romantic interest. But no, Dietrich is feeling her.
But again, the personality thing, because again at the end of the day, men want somebody they can talk to.
Yeah.
They want somebody they can laugh and have fun with, not on their homie type level. I mean that's cool, but they want somebody they can confide in, to trust, to be able to even if shed a tear if they need be. So that's where. That's what he's looking at with Tressa.
Yeah, and Tressa said, honestly, after the conversation they had, she said, my top and my bottom have switched. She's curious how it's going to work with Dietrich, and he says, I'm not his type. But again, it used to be his type, so maybe he just was like, I want to try something different because I just always have this type. Let me try something different. It's not that she's not his type.
Right.
Just, he wanted to do something different.
He wanted to explore. He wanted to try something different. And nothing wrong with that.
And so he's gravitating back to his type. But anyway, we see Chris and Stacy having a chit-chat. He was like, she's cool. She likes to cook. And then as they're getting in a conversation, she left and went go talk to Dietrich.
Yeah,
he was like, wow.
She left him.
Yeah.
She took her plate and left him. I don't know if the conversation didn't go well or whatever the case may be.
Paw just called her. I
guess Paw was bald head Marvin Carter. Let me stop calling people because they think he.
Not Marvin Carter.
Marvin Gaye caught her.
Oh, caught her.
Marvin Gaye caught her. For the third time.
Marvin Carter.
For the third time, Marvin Gaye, the name that Ida gave him, caught her eye, and therefore, because Marvin Gaye caught her eye, aka Dietrich, Paw left Chris and went over there to Paw, aka Marvin Gaye, real name Dietrich.
Anyway.
Got it? For all those in the back.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, we see AJ and Kyra talking, and she says, you know, she gonna give El Cheapo another chance. Yeah, she said she really, like, she just really brushed him off before. She was like, she's like, I'm gonna give him another chance. But,
it was an honest
I was
mistake.
turned off.
My man didn't have enough money on his card. It was an honest mistake. Now, granted, he should have checked his card before he left. Should have knew that before he went out. Again, honest mistake. El Cheapo / AJ should get another chance.
All right. So now we see Tommy meeting with the guys. It's time to let somebody go. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the one thing I thought was touching, you know, Jason was like, before we do anything, I got to say this. Because Joel is a good dude. You know, I had to move out of my apartment. Right. He called me, just be like, what's up? He's like, I'm moving. And he was like, Joel showed up. I mean, like, he really helped me move. He was sweating and everything. He was like, so I just want to give kudos to him. Good guy. And lots of guys in the room were like, yeah, he's a good dude.
Solid, baby.
Yeah, and that touched Joel. You know, he shed a little bit of tears. He was like, you know, I'm sorry for crying, you know, but I'm not sorry. Because he was like, I feel like out of this situation, which is good that they had this attitude. And I think it's really genuine. Because on a lot of these shows, they might say it, but they don't necessarily do it. Because I think we've seen it in every season. He said, we want to walk out of this. It's not just about finding a woman, but can't we also come out with a brotherhood and make some new, you know, male
bond.
Connections.
They create that bond, but also you gotta look at Joel's situation too. His wife passed away. Mm-hmm. So I think he's at the point where he take every moment, and every friendship, and make it serious. He wants to impact people's lives because you never know when they're gone. Mm-hmm. And I think he looks at that, and again, Tommy makes a statement: if all brothers could get together like that, and what kind of place this would be if all brothers would get together, begin to unify and unite, and begin to help each other out, not give them a hand, you know, just be able to be there for each other. And so I think that was key there. And you know what broke the seriousness of the levity was like, you know, Joel was like, your mama was there, you know, and she's a
beautiful baby.
She's a beautiful baby.
He's like, whoa,
and Jason like, hold on,
don't be calling my mama baby.
Hold on, dog. Hold on for a minute. Hold on.
Don't be calling my mama baby.
Now, mind you, if you really look at it, Jason is not. See, Jason's pretty young. Joel's up there. So Joel might be close to his mama age.
Nah.
He might be close to the mama age.
Nah. The one interesting thing I saw with the Tommy's meet with the guys is Dietrich said the only date he went on was the group date. And they were supposed to be old school and ask somebody out. So I'm kind of curious as to why he didn't. That he just did the group date.
I think because when you got guys dealing with girls and they're going out, and you have a certain amount of days, people's schedule get built blocked up.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think he probably asked, but I'm going out with so and so tonight. Oh, okay, now I'm going out with so and so tonight. Mm-hmm. And so there we get that window, because remember, you have 10 guys, you only have you have 8 guys and you have 10 girls. So now you're looking at, okay, boom, this person gotta go here, this person gotta go here, we got here, they mix it up. So I think the group date is a good idea, and again, the schedules didn't probably match up.
Yeah, and he told everybody, you know, that Tressa was a surprising development for him. And a lot of the guys like, yeah, she's real smart. Ronald says, oh yeah, she a real queen. You know, everybody spoke very highly of Tressa, you know, and which was interesting what happens later. But AJ talked about his date with Alexis and how he had the alarm go off as far as her aggression, her sexual stuff. Jason talked about Kyra being at his top. Mm-hmm. And Troy talks about being in the sandwich with Amber and Andrea, and, you know, kissing he said the kiss on the cheek might have been a lot for Amber. She didn't say anything, but you know her posture, her body language said it, and that's what Tommy got on him about, bruh.
You kissing everybody.
Keep your lips off of everybody.
We still in COVID, y'all. We're still in. I know they in Texas and they in Houston. Well, you know we know Texas a little loose.
Yeah.
But I think at the time they were filming this, you still in the COVID little situation right there. You gotta be careful, man.
Get out of people's face, Troy.
Get out of people's face, Troy.
So in the end, okay, who's on the bottom? David said it's a no for him, for Tressa as far as romance. Like, he's like, you know, the homegirl thing. And AJ says the same thing, as does Troy. They not really feeling Tressa. Dietrich says for him, he's not feeling Chrysanthemum or Kyra. And they was kind of thrown. You don't like Chris? No.
Okay. He said because, you know, they wasn't feeling me, so guess what?
I wasn't feeling them.
They're like, that's gangster, dog.
But I mean, it only makes sense. If they ain't no need of me wasting my time liking them if they not gonna like me back.
That's true. And again, you have a short amount of time span, and you want to get this relationship thing popping.
Yeah. Jason said he wasn't feeling Andrea. He says, you know, I'm kind of aggressive. I didn't know if, you know, she matched my personality. So Chris also said Andrea not feeling.
And Joel said, you know, he likes Andrea and she's pretty cool. But
she's not at his top.
She's just not on his top.
Ronald said Andrea too. She was kind of standoffish. She wasn't really feeling her. The kicker, Chris said with Andrea, also Stacy. Stacy wasn't really
Chris felt
highly rated for him.
Chris felt some type of way because she left him.
Yeah, she did.
She left him for Dietrich. So he was already feeling, I don't care what happened, he was already going to put her name down. He just feeling some type of way. Yeah,
all right. So 2 guys got to go tell the 2 girls on the bottom, you know, go talk to them. And so we see David go talk to Andrea. Yeah. And oh, poor thing. She's like, oh, I was excited. He asked me out. I thought I would bring my A game. And she put some thigh-high boots on. And, you know, she got all dutied up, you know, ready to go. And we see Dietrich takes Tressa out. And she was like, oh, cool. You know, we talked about doing a date. But she was a little suspicious because she said we were supposed to go to the spice store. This ain't the spice store.
Spice store. What's going on?
I don't know. And so Dietrich and Tressa talked. She was like, I want to know what changed how you were feeling. You said you attracted to a different type of girl now. What changed it? He was like, you know, I just really felt the vibe and the connection. It was, you know, the talk genuine. We had, it was like really cool. So, you know, I changed my mind. And he just like David, let Tressa and Andrea know y'all's name came up as far as the bottom of the list. And David said the thing with Andrea was that you need to be a little more assertive. They really didn't see you come forth.
But that's the same thing the women said about Christian.
Yeah.
That you need to be a little bit more assertive.
Absolutely.
You need to be more. So this we found out that this season, their people want you to be kind of out there. You can't be hiding.
But not super.
Yeah, you got to find
aggressive.
your balance. You can't be hiding in the background and don't make any effort, or you going home.
Yeah. And he was like, you know, you need to put yourself out there some more. Dietrich tells Tressa, you know, your name came up a lot at the bottom. Some of the guys were getting a homie vibe. And he was like, you know, it messed with me. It messed with me because he was like, you know, I'm feeling her. Like, come on, y'all. Like, I want to get a chance to get to know her. Don't let her go just yet.
Yeah, and so when I saw that he was going to be the one to, you know, talk to her, I'm like, man, they can't let this happen.
Yeah.
I'm like, this can't happen because they was feeling her and he was feeling her. She was feeling him.
Yeah, I think we kind of knew it was going to happen.
I kind of felt like it was going to happen. I'm like, okay, but.
And it did.
And it did. Tressa stays. Andrea goes home.
Yeah, because Dietrich was like, you know, some of the guys weren't feeling it out. You know, I put my bid in, and he was like, I won.
I won. I
fought for you.
I fought for you. I stood up on the table. I shouted from the mountaintop.
And she was
keep
like,
her here.
She was like, oh, don't do me like that. I need another drink. I was like, oh, gosh. And, yeah, and so she's like, oh, thank you. You know, he's like, so, you know, we're going to go on that spice store date. And he grabbed her up. I was like, oh, my goodness.
And he rubbed the back of her arms, and he... Yeah.
Yeah. He gave her a nice little embrace. I was like, yeah.
He hugged her like, you know what, we're good for you.
Like, I'm holding on to you.
I'm holding on to you. You know? Andrea looked like she just hopped up and like, you know what, okay. See y'all later. Bye. Bye.
She did.
But, you know, all in all, I think this really showed you that personality makes a difference. It's not all about look with some of these guys.
No.
And it's not all about sex. with some of these guys. So again, this group of men, I'm not saying any other past group of men wasn't about their grown man stuff, but this group of men seem like they got their stuff together, except for one. But we'll see how that goes next week.
So far, but I think it's different too. Like you made a point before, and we about through. It's different. We're back to the usual.
Mm-hmm.
Like last season was the resort, so it's like you're in hotel rooms, kind of, and you're there just with each other. It kind of fostered maybe that kind of vibe. So now we back to reality. It's real life. So it's like regular dating. So
it's regular dating, and I think that's the key here. We're down to 8 men. We're down to 8 women. And we're gonna see how this
men gonna be on the chopping. The guys gonna be on the chopping block again.
Oh, you guys gonna be on the chopping block again. Yes. Women have the vote next week.
The power.
The power. Somebody got to go home. Let us know what you thought about this episode. Let us know what you leave a comment in the comment section below.
Or even can you speculate maybe at this point who you're liking so far?
Yeah.
I like Tressa and Dietrich. I
like Tressa and Dietrich. I like my man. I like Amber and Chris.
Okay.
Right now. Venasia and Joel, I think would do well. Well with each other. I also like Kyra and Jason.
Really?
I like that because it's a different type of vibe instead of the Alexis thing. I'm still out with Alexis and Jason because of the kid dynamic.
And we didn't see not a whole lot of Chris.
Yeah.
And we saw a little bit of Liz, but we didn't see a lot of Chris.
And we ain't see no Ronald whatsoever.
Yeah, not really.
Somebody let me know what's up with Ronald.
Yeah, he didn't go. No.
Ronald didn't go any group dates, but we saw him in the group with the men at the council. Again, we know that they can't show everything on TV, so I'm sure he probably did go out, but they just didn't show him going out with anybody. But hey, leave a comment in the comment section below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification
and like the video.
And like the video.
Like the video.
As my daughter would say, give us a thumbs up. Alright. Like the video and let us know which couples you like so far.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.